What's up? Let's talk about Timbersaw. Man, I miss the old days when balance patches would just completely obliterate a hero's viability. Now even after a nerf, I have to talk about how the way to kill a Timbersaw is with anything but physical damage. You already know this, I already know you know this, so why do you refuse to pick accordingly? I'm pretty sure the people who are screaming the most about how broken reactive armor is are people who pick PA and try to solo kill a farming timber and then be all, "Oh, it should give magic resist too, right? I mean, I understand his weakness, but I'm too stupid to pick accordingly." Timbersaw is great against two things, physical damage and strength heroes. Timbersaw is not great against a lot of other things like magic damage, pure damage, mana burners, stuns, silences, or high mobility heroes. So in theory, it's not that difficult to pick against a Timbersaw. But I say in theory because the problem is that it's usually support heroes that have the tool set necessary to take advantage of these weaknesses.
Hey, Tsunami.
Oh, what's up, Rux?
Nobody likes to play support, yet everybody likes to win.
Yeah, thanks. I feel like you say that every single game, even when I do pick a support.
Well, shut the fuck up.
Okay, if you pick a Skywrath or a Caudal or a Shadow Demon or a Silencer, or you get the idea. You can very easily stop a Timbersaw from getting a good start in lane. You may remember this one consumable item that everyone stopped buying because there were all these newer, fancier items to buy out of spawn. Yeah, Timbersaw can't really do anything to stop you from sucking those things down like a college freshman trying to get drunk off jello shots. He's slow, and he's melee. And once you start hitting him with some spells, you'll realize that he's actually not that tanky. He is a strength hero, sure, but he has 0 natural armor and has lower starting HP and strength gain than a Winter Wyvern. If you really don't have anyone on your team that exploits his weaknesses as a hero, then know that minus armor items are surprisingly effective against him. Orchid is an item that exists, Maelstrom can give you magic damage when you don't have any, and Silver Edge can break him from gaining any new reactive armor stacks. Now that's all the stuff that you think you needed to know to deal with Timbersaw, but I think the real reason Timbersaw gives people so much trouble is because players don't think like a Timbersaw. Most people would say Cowboy Bebop or Steins Gate or Cory in the House, but personally I think Dota 2 is my favorite anime because it features the most tsundere character ever created. Everything about Timbersaw is tsune. His lore is basically a sexy allegory about the power of trees. He mentions the word tree 16 times in his voice lines, which is nearly as many times as Nyx says Nyx. Even his spells are tsundere towards trees. It's not like I needed the pure damage on my Q, you just got in the way. Don't get the wrong idea, I'm only hooking to get closer to you because I needed an escape. Baka. He acts like he hates trees, but secretly he loves them. Because without trees, he's completely useless. And that's why a lot of players suck at escaping Timbersaw ganks. Trying to take the shortest possible path and trying to abuse Fog of War, Timbersaw doesn't care about any of that. There is a big difference in how quickly a Timbersaw can burst an enemy standing next to a tree line versus standing in the middle of the lane. If you're not near any trees and he's too far to chain anything, he'll toss a chakram to slow you. And here's a fun fact. Mirana's arrow and Timber's chakram travel at roughly the same rate, and I know people sidestep to avoid the arrow, so do the same thing with the chakram. The AoE is larger, sure, but players are too often content to just eat the whole chakram when it's easier to dodge than they'd think. Afterwards, when you get to go on the aggressive, look at the map to see when he's getting in chain range of a tree. Then try to cancel his chain with a stun, or read the direction to chase him. As long as your team isn't entirely reliant on right clicks to deal damage, and you think about how he's approaching you when he's ganking you, then congratulations, you're dealing with Timbersaw. Thanks for watching, my name's Tsunami. I apologize for putting a face behind the voice, but I have a good reason. I just wanted to let you guys know that I will be at TI6. Not to do anything, but it will be the first Dota land that I've ever been to. And it would really make my day to talk to, see, meet any one of you So, if you do spot me, and you care to do more than just whisper to your friend next to you, hey, I think that's the guy that made that Kobold video, then please take the time to come up and say something, and I will do my best to make sure it's as awkward an experience as possible for the both of us.